It's just how I roll.
Ah! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, we take time out to welcome you to the number one faith-based motivational and inspirational broadcast platform in the country, GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP TV. And of course, as you can tell, we have a guest here with us, one of our featured authors on the GMAP Broadcast platform. And I got to first and foremost say thank you for being here today. Thank you for accepting the invitation to be a part of our broadcast network family. And thank you for allowing us to be a part of your journey. Do me a favor. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are. Tell us where you're from. Give us a little background about you.
All right, I can do that. I don't know how little it'll be because I tend to, Um, but my name is Yvonne Sandomir. I'm an author, a wife, a mom, an artist behind me. I'm a singer, I'm a dancer, I'm a jokester. But most importantly, my job right now is to raise awareness of about child sexual abuse and how we can prevent it for the kids in the future. So that's my goal. My memoir, The Invisible Girl, is my story. It's not only my story, but the story of millions of other people who have survived traumatic experiences that I have, in particular, child sexual abuse. So, my goal is to reach as many audiences as I can to talk about it because it's something that a lot of people are afraid to discuss. And I want to be a voice for all of the victims out there and also the survivors, because there are 42 million adult survivors of child sexual abuse in the United States alone right now.
Wow.
Think about that.
Yeah.
42 million people are walking wounded in our country who have not been able to get the help that they need to heal from their traumas. And there are millions of other children right now who are in abusive situations. And I want to bring awareness to the fact that the people that you think you can trust the most with your children are the same people who are most likely to harm your child.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Think about that for a second.
Wow.
So it's the people who gain the trust of the parents gain access to the children. And a lot of times people say, stranger danger, don't talk to strangers. But unfortunately, stranger danger doesn't always apply. As a matter of fact, 90% of victims who were abused know, love, and trust the person that harmed them.
Well, you
Think
know what?
about that.
And I am thinking about that. And one of the things that I'm going to dive in and say is this publication is not just for entertainment purposes.
Oh, absolutely not.
There's a point, there's a purpose, there's a value, there's a need, there's
Absolutely.
information, there's resources, and it all stems around this publication right now because you know what, we want to share this information. As a matter of fact, let me pull it up on the screen here so you'll know exactly what we're speaking about. And of course, this is the publication that has been released, The Invisible Girl. Why don't you know what? Why don't you break down, Yvonne, and tell us a little bit about what this particular publication entails?
Absolutely. I warn everyone it is not an easy read. Um, it details my traumas as a child from basically the age of birth on to, gosh, into my 20s. I am a survivor of child sexual abuse, incest, rape, neglect, abandonment, and I created a life for myself. And I knew at the age of 10 that I was going to write this book. I knew at the age of 10 that this book would be entitled The Invisible Girl. I knew that all of the things that I was going through were so abnormal that I couldn't be the only one experiencing them. And I had no one to turn to. The purpose of my story is the reason that I titled it The Invisible Girl is you won't find any news reports on anything that has happened to me. You won't even find a police report because, unfortunately, when I revealed the abuse to the people close to me, they chose to forgive the perpetrator and remain friends with them. And that was very devastating for me. And one of the main reasons why I accepted your invitation is because this is a faith based
Yeah.
broadcast.
Yeah.
And I want to bring awareness to some spiritual
Yeah.
abuse
Yeah.
that was happening in my life. Now, I have to say this. Of course, not all Christians, not all religions, this does not speak to everyone, but this just speaks to my experience. For example, something that I really struggled with was how my parents could forgive someone who hurt me and expect me to do the same thing without that person doing anything, any actionable behavior, or showing any remorse for what they did to me.
Yeah.
I was taught only God can judge. No one else can judge but God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was such a contradictory thing for me because they would say to me, we can't judge your um, sexual offender, but let somebody walk down the street with a short shirt, short shorts, and a crop top, and it was look at that whore walking down the street.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of contradiction that I just didn't understand, and it was all wrapped up in, well, he's a different man now. He's changed now, but that's all good and fine. But he still has to take some responsibility for what he did at the time. You
Yeah.
can't just sweep it under the rug and say, oh, just because someone has found God now that they just, that they don't owe their victims any type of justice, or they don't owe their victims any type of apologies. Because I've learned that forgiveness is in fact for the victim, of course. But I want to say this, and this is not in terms of any spirituality. This is just in terms of coming from a victim, a survivor, someone who's been perpetrated upon. Forgiveness is for the survivor. And a survivor should not be forced to forgive anyone until they're ready, because that tells that person that their pain doesn't matter. What happened to them doesn't matter. That all is well now because this perpetrator found God. All the while, the survivor deals with the pain and the suffering and the after effects of that trauma for years, for their entire life. There is no, we don't get a free pass just because our perpetrator found God. That person still hurt us, and that person should be held accountable for that, no matter what.
Now,
Um,
let me ask you this. Just because a person finds God, that doesn't change them.
that's correct.
Let me say that
Thank you.
because
Thank you.
I'm gonna just keep it. I'm just gonna keep it real with you.
Keep it 100 because that's what
Yeah,
we do here.
that's what we do. Um, just because a person finds God doesn't change them. Um, I'm gonna say that when I first got into ministry, I did not stop doing what I was doing before I got into ministry.
Absolutely.
People don't know that before I go preach a sermon, I had to take a line of a drug before I do it.
Yeah.
People don't know that I know some pastors today who say I gotta take a shot,
Yeah.
but before I go to the pulpit. See, so just because a person, quote unquote, that's
Yes. Yes.
that's
Yeah.
all. That's almost funny. Finds God. What he does is, of course, if he's serious about it, or if she's serious about it, if they're serious about it, it will stop them from doing what they've done.
Yes.
It will
Yes.
stop them for. It will stop them from practicing bad behavior, but they still are who they were.
Absolutely.
Oh, don't you stop me to preaching here. I'll stop. I'll
Absolutely.
take a.
Go ahead. I'll preach with you. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Like, let's do this. Let's
Because
do
see,
this.
I could take that.
Like,
Oh my goodness.
no, you're absolutely right. You're
Yeah.
absolutely
I mean,
right.
I could take
And
it and wow. But let me ask you this. Now, is this your first release, your first publication?
it absolutely is. Yes.
It is. How?
Yes.
Well, you got a story to tell,
I do.
and
I do.
I'm gonna say that just by listening to what you shared briefly just then. And I know that this particular publication and you as an author, and I didn't know you were an artist, but I'm witnessing that now. I can see it on the
And a
screen.
singer. I'll sing too if you want me to.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Sing something for us right now. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. I'll give you some Amazing Grace. How's that?
Give it to us.
Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. There you go.
Man, oh man, oh man. Wow. We're gonna have to do a duet.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
That is amazing.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
You know what? Man, oh, that was beautiful. And
Thank you.
I could have just
Thank
sat
you.
back and just listened because, I find myself, sometimes I get on my bicycle and I ride, and I said bicycle. I didn't say motorcycle. Just want people to
Okay.
know that. Well, people don't know, but I had a stroke about 3-4 months ago.
Oh,
And
I'm so sorry.
no, don't be sorry. It was a very worthwhile experience.
Okay.
I lost activity in my entire right side of my body.
Wow.
I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I couldn't write, I couldn't hear, all on the right side of my body. And I'm going to tell you something that changed my entire life. The doctors told me that we're going to send you to a 6-month minimum inpatient rehabilitation program. That means I was going to have to go to I would have to go MIA from the world for 6 months minimum. And then when you finish, he said, we're going this is the funny part. When you finish, we're going to give you this walker to walk with. So I said, let me get this straight. You're going to send me to an inpatient, intense 6-month rehabilitation program. And when I finish, you're going to give me that walker to walk around with. I said, you are not about to give a 56-year-old man a walker to walk around with for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
48 hours later, only by the grace of God, the doctors came in and said, this is amazing. And we all wondered what was so amazing. He said, get up. I got up. I stood up. He said, can you go to the bathroom? I said, sure. I walked
What?
to the bathroom
What?
on my
Overnight?
own.
Just like overnight?
Just like overnight.
Wow.
To
That's
it-
because you made up your mind.
It
You
was-
decided.
It was mind
You
over matter.
decided.
That's right.
Yes, it was.
It was
That's
mind
right.
over matter. I said, you are not about to stick some 56-year-old man in a walker to walk around. Okay, and I tell you, I mean, I'm still having issues. I still have some side effects, but to God be the glory. People wonder why I shout and sing while I'm riding my bicycle down the street. I was singing Amazing Grace one day with my hands in the air because I was
Wow.
so happy that I could ride a bike.
Wow.
A week
That's
before.
amazing. The
It's
things
a-
we take for granted, right?
Yeah. So when you sang that song, you know, my apologies to the viewers, but that's just what we do. When you sang that song, that's what came to mind. I'm like, wow, and it was Amazing Grace. You know, and now today,
Isn't that something?
yeah, it's amazing. So, you are in a position where you must do some sort of podcast or something. If you don't,
Actually, I don't have my own podcast, but since my book has been released, I've been invited on to multiple podcasts as a guest speaker. So I decided may as well, get myself set up here because I'm serious about this. I want to be a voice. I want to speak for those who can't speak, and also be inspiration and hope that
Wow.
no matter what you go through, you can overcome it. But now this might be controversial. I'm going to say something. It might be controversial.
Come on,
but
say it.
Stay
say
with
it,
me,
say
okay?
it, say it. Yeah.
What I want people to understand is not even God himself alone, please hear me. Don't shut me out yet, can heal you from your trauma. You have to be willing to do work. Sure, God can bring you peace and comfort and motivation, and he can help you be strong, but you have to put in the work. You have to go to therapy. You have to confront those deep, painful emotions that you want to just forget about in order to heal. Because what happens is if we don't heal these traumas, the pain lies dormant within us. And it just builds and compounds and compounds and compounds in it until you're just so full of despair that you either have a nervous breakdown or you turn to drugs and alcohol to self-medicate. You turn to self-harming behaviors to try to deal with that internal pain and anguish that you have. I just want to say, please know that you have to also put in the work.
Let me stop you right there. I'm going to ask you a question. Okay.
Sure.
Are you willing to be used by God?
Am I? Absolutely. And I
Okay.
think I am in everything that I do.
Now, that's the reason I asked you that question, Yvonne, is not only God or not God himself. I think that was the quote you used or the statement you used.
Yeah.
That's not at all controversial.
Okay.
And the
good.
reason I say that, well, I don't know. God always gives me things, and I don't understand why he gives them to me. Wow, this could go. Boy, this could go. This is gonna get good. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
He always gives me things, and I think I'm the only pastor in the world that goes up to the pulpit to preach a sermon and never take notes. I don't write out a sermon. I don't need to write out a sermon. Because if I do, then you're getting what I feel.
Mm.
You're getting what I studied. You're getting what I think.
Mm.
You're getting my point of views. But you're not getting what God truly wants you to hear. Now,
Mm.
I don't do that because I ask God to remove the selfish, natural man out of the way
Mm-hmm.
and allow the spiritual man to speak.
Mm.
Now, oh wow, this is good. Okay, the reason I say that is God Himself. This is the controversial part that people may feel. God Himself can do anything He wants when He gets ready.
Right. Right.
Okay, so we all know
Yeah.
that.
Right.
But
Yes.
number one, if you're willing to be used by God, number one, you have to do one thing first. You have to invite Him into the situation.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So you have that choice to make. You have to do that. You
Yep.
have to focus on seeking, finding, asking, receive. You. So
Yes.
God Himself can do it, but He's not because you didn't invite Him in.
Well, not only that, but this is just coming from me. Like we're about to get into it, okay?
Yeah, come on.
I also believe that God would want us to do the work because it's a learning process.
It's a
It's
choice.
it's a choice, but it also you learn so much about yourself
Yeah.
and the healing process
Yeah.
that I feel like here's the thing. Let me just say this. I believe that a lot of people who have been harmed have done just what you said. They sought Jesus, sought God out. They decided that they want Him a part of their life, and He's going to be the ruler. But then they get lazy.
No, they don't. They don't get lazy. They
Not
stop. Yeah, they
some
stop.
people.
They stop.
Yeah,
They expect God to just come in and just change the world.
exactly, and that doesn't happen.
Well, it's never going to
That
happen.
doesn't happen.
No.
Right.
Okay.
Right. You still have to put in the work, the effort yourself to better your life because nobody can do that for you. You know, you have to go to work every day. God may give you a job, but you got to go there every day. You know, you
That's
got
what
to
I
be
mean.
there every day.
Yeah. That's what, and you
You
know
know
what?
what I mean?
Well, you're exactly right because that's why I asked you the question. I actually preached a sermon one time, and it was titled "Are You Willing to Be Used?" And then I stopped.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped right there. And 99.9% of the people in the church were saying to themselves, absolutely not.
Mm.
And then I would sum it all up by ending it with, by God. Get it?
Oh yeah, I get it.
Are
I get
you
it.
willing to be used? And I wouldn't say anything. And you know, I don't want to be used. Yeah, I don't
Mm-hmm.
wanna, you're not going to use me. But then
Right.
you have to say, by God. Now, if you're willing to be used by God and you're accepting this, God didn't take you through that.
Mm.
As a matter of fact, he allowed you to go through it for the very purpose of what you're doing right now.
And I believe that.
Yeah, I
I believe
believe
that
you have
1,000%.
no choice because
Yeah.
now he has made you an advocate. He has
Yes.
put you in a position to reach out. Because see, there are some women who would have never made it through what you went through.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They would have killed themselves. They would
Many
have.
have.
Yeah,
Many
I
have.
know, and that's something. Oh my goodness. See,
Yeah.
I'm a believer because I can always tell people God doesn't put you in a situation. He allows you to go through a situation. You know, if you read the Bible,
Because
Bible
you
says,
have to decide how
yeah,
you're going to come out
how
at
you
the
going to
end.
respond to it, not
Right. It's
react.
a
How you,
choice.
right,
It's a choice.
right.
Yes.
Just like accepting Him, He
Yep.
gives you choices. I had a young man tell me one time, "Man, I know how you feel." I had got my son was killed. They had,
Your son?
yeah, I had a son,
Oh, wait, can
and
we just please take a moment for him? What is his name?
his name is Thomas E. Strader,
Strutter Thomas. And how old was Thomas?
23.
Wow, okay. And what did he like to do?
Everything. He was the joyful. He was the joy of my life. He didn't bother
Mm,
anybody. He didn't get sidetracked with drugs and alcohol. He didn't gang bang. He was just a normal kid
mm.
that loved his
Oh.
dad, and he loved his dad.
Oh, I bet he
He,
did. I bet he did. I bet he did.
he-
Yeah.
you
I
know,
bet he was a lot like you too,
oh my
right?
goodness.
Yeah, he has
You
your
know,
personality. I can just
Pops,
sense it.
this was his thing. Pops, let's go to the bowling alley. Pops,
Ah.
and that's, because okay, let me say this. He worked for what he wanted. Probably had a $500-$600 check in his pocket. It was Friday. Somebody snuck up on him and stuck a gun in his nostril
No.
and pulled the trigger. So,
Oh my God.
and it was amazing because I'm able to hold on to strength because I never allowed my son to live in the past.
Right.
I always keep him in the present.
Yes.
So when he gets here, he'll tell you this story. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I had a young man say, "I know how you feel." I said, "Let me ask you. I don't mean to, dictate your feelings toward the situation, but have you ever lost a son?"
Mm. Absolutely.
And he said, "No." I said,
He
"Then
had
you
no
have
idea.
no idea how I feel.
That's right.
And even if you have, you wouldn't know how I feel.
That's right.
Because everybody reacts or responds a different
Mm-hmm.
way. And that's why this situation with you, it was meant for you to, or allowed you to experience. Everyone couldn't have accepted this challenge the way you have. Now, I'm going to tell you what God is doing. God has placed you in a position to be able to share resources, to be able to share your experience, to be able to share testimonies, to be able to share resources. They have to get it from somewhere.
That's right. I think it gave me, excuse me, it gave me the passion. It gave me the passion for this topic, the passion to want to get out there and speak about it. Because if I didn't go through this, would I still be here today? Would I still have this book today?
No,
Would I still have this beautiful artwork behind me that I created along the way?
that's a lovely smile you got to go
You
along
know?
with it. And I'm going to tell you, God has allowed, He has placed in my heart to anticipate that you'll be able to share this worldwide.
That is my goal.
Every
my,
week.
My goal.
Every week, you'll be able to share it with guests. You'll be able to talk to and talk with others that may have experienced it, to share resources, to share strength. And He's going to allow you to do that right here on GMAP TV. Every week, we're going to be inviting you back to begin your journey
Really?
in sharing your message.
Oh, that's amazing. I can't wait to hear more information about it.
Oh,
That's
you
so
will.
exciting.
And the reason I'm saying that is because, see, a lot of people think we focus on being entertaining. And we do. We like to entertain.
Sure.
But if you have 1,000-member church and you're entertaining people versus
What are you really doing?
you're entertaining. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to do, entertain. But if you have a 10-member church and a soul gets saved, all of the angels in the heavens rejoice.
Right.
I would rather get those angels rejoicing than to entertain thousands.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, we're
Yeah.
going to talk more about that because I already know that I'm going to be setting it up for you to have your own broadcast here on the GMAP Broadcast Network.
That's
GMAP
incredible.
TV. And I'm saying that because it just feels right. I can sit back right now and say, Yvonne, the floor is yours. And I can get up and walk away. And I can guarantee you.
And I'll still be going when you come back.
You'll still be going.
I'll still be going.
I already know. And
It's going to be hard to get me to shut up from this broadcast. I don't know what to tell you.
All I can say is we're going to talk more about that. I'm going to start preparing. I have another conversation that I'm going to be having with a young man at noon today's my time. But before I even attempt to do that, I know that there's going to be quite a few people who they're going to grab a hold of this conversation. They're going to grab a hold of the concern or care to want to support, show their love and care. They may want to, in fact, a lot of people are hiding from their experience like this.
Yes.
And they may want to grab a copy of this publication and say, hey, this publication may just help me. How can they do that? Where's it available?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's available paperback, ebook, and also audiobook. I just released the audiobook, and it's narrated by me. So the audiobook. Yes, the audiobook. Wow. It's available on Audible. Of course, you can go to Amazon.com for the paperback or Kindle. But let me give you my web address because you can get it. You can get all forms of the book there. So it's www.theinvisiblegirlmemoir.com.
Can you say that again? Can you repeat that one more time?
Sure. Theinvisiblegirlmemoir.com. And memoir is spelled MEMOIR. And there you'll find there's an author interview, there's a reading that I did from the book, and of course a link where you can purchase whatever format you prefer.
Wow. You know what? We are just going to be best friends. And I mean, I'm feeling very good about what's taking place. Of course, for those that may in fact want to reach out and connect with you on a more individual basis, I don't want to say a personal note, but a personal note.
Sure.
What's the process for them to do so?
Well, I do have an author page on Facebook. It's just Y Sandomir, easy peasy, and that's SANDOMIR. And they can also email me at yvonne.sandomir@gmail.com. And I can't promise to respond to everything, but just know that I do receive them, I read them, and I appreciate them very much. And when I can respond, I do.
We're not going to let them forget about little old GMAP Broadcast Network down here in the lower left-hand corner.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I mean, we are down here. we're in small print, but we're here.
But you're there, right? Yeah. Hey, it all matters.
But you know what? Someone once told me small print is the most important print on the paper.
Ooh, I like that. It's true. It's true.
You better pay attention to that small print or you might miss something.
You do. You might miss something.
So we don't mind having and receiving and maintaining that position. We are down here in small print, but leave us there.
Yes, indeed.
Leave us there because we might just be the most important print on the paper. Of course, they can reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to connect the dots again. For those that don't know, of course, Yvonne is one of our featured authors on the GMAP Broadcast Network. And I'm just going to step up and step out on faith here and say that you'll be there. I'm going to extend your position as a featured author, an advocate, and a program host for the entire year of 2022.
Wow.
I'm going to do
Wow.
that because I have been led to do that. Yeah, we'll work out some details and, we'll figure out what we can do here and there, but it's something that must take place because
I love it.
the resources behind it. And now we're getting ready to go into more of a television platform. Mm-hmm. So with GMAP Broadcast Network, it's not about tuning in and listening to our music.
Right.
Everyone else is doing that. We love uniqueness. We love different. We're gonna have our own television channel. We're gonna have our own Comcast channel, Roku channel, Apple TV, Fire TV, and so on.
Amazing.
And we're gonna be in over 2.5 million homes, and we're gonna have some great television programs, some great promos, some great commercials, some great talk shows, some great informational programs, and they're gonna be complemented with resources such as this one. And
I love it.
we're going to include you in that process.
Well, thank you so much. I'm honored. I'm absolutely honored. Thank you.
And we are honored to have you. And with that being said, before I let you go today, I know this is probably going to be an easy answer for you. But what's next for you?
Oh my gosh. Next is me speaking, me being in front of lots of people to spread the awareness and prevention tips for child sexual abuse. I am going to be going on a book tour in 2022, covering states from Texas all the way through to Arizona, New Mexico, California, Nevada,
Chicago.
Utah, Colorado.
Chicago.
So
Chicago.
Yes, that's going to be on the next one. That's going to be the next leg because I'm doing a 2-day book festival in LA, where I'm going to be exhibiting. So if anyone is in the LA area, they can April 23rd and 24th is the book festival being held at the University of Southern California. So you can come out and see me there, and I'll be happy to sign books, answer questions, and of course, I'll be providing resources as well.
Keep your phone with you because we can still chime you in, see what you're doing.
Sounds good. I definitely will.
I'm telling you that I'm far beyond just having you here as a guest.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I feel absolutely honored. Thank you.
I'm far beyond just having what you're doing is important, and I won't tell many people this because when you receive certain things or when you go through certain things, you have a choice to make: respond or react. Mm-hmm. When you react, you don't think about it.
That's right.
You just do it.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, that reaction is the wrong reaction.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When you respond to it, you think about it.
That's right.
Before you do it, you think it through, and then you proceed. 9 times out of 10, that's the right response. And I responded to a situation where one of my children went through what you went through as a child. And I know it. I know she went through it. I know who did it. I see him. He's not locked up behind bars. He's walking the streets, living the good life, driving nice fancy cars. And
Why isn't he behind bars?
I can give you a checklist of whys.
Okay.
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 so, Y, check one. Y, check two. Y.
Okay.
And I'm just using the letter Y. I'm not going to even spell
Yes,
it out.
yes, yes.
But I see him all the time. As a matter of fact, let me say this to you. This conversation is so joyful for me.
Mm.
Um, I'm going to give you a GMAP coffee cup too. So every time you
Yeah?
every time you
Yeah?
sip out of that every time you sip out of that cup, they're gonna see GMAP.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I love my coffee. That's like
Well,
I
you
need
know
it.
what?
I
It's
need
kind
it.
of ironic. You can't see me, but
No, I can't.
I'm doing the exact same thing you're doing. I am drinking out my little coffee cup. Okay. Um. As a matter of fact, this individual that I'm speaking of
Yeah, this guy.
had the audacity to walk up to me and hug me like he was my best friend and ask me, "Hey man, how you doing?" And at that
Woo.
moment, I knew that God had a plan for me.
Mm.
And because I didn't react to that.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have reacted, I would have been
Mm.
dead or in jail.
Right, right.
But now that I responded, I'm able to provide programming that allows others not to continue to go through what I went through.
That's right. That's right. And, thank you so much for sharing that, by the way, because I know that's not an easy thing to talk about or
Mm-mm,
share.
mm-mm.
But I want to extend myself to your daughter. I don't know how old she is now, how long ago this was, but I want you to be aware of some signs and symptoms that she's really, really struggling. Just a couple of things. If she's doing any self harming behavior, if she is showing increased aggression or anxiety, um, if she's acting out, just not being herself, please be patient with her.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to tell you
And
this. My daughter's self-medicating.
mm,
That's her issue. She's not
mhm.
harming anyone but herself.
But
And
that's
it's, yeah.
equally
Well,
unacceptable.
yeah, exactly. And it's exploding because even though
Yeah.
she assumes that she's only harming herself, others are being harmed behind her actions.
Right. Right.
And she's self-medicating. She,
Mm.
she, she loves me. She trusts me. She comes around me and she does talk to me. But I can't give her what she needs other than my love.
But you can give her your support
Yeah,
as well.
that's a part of my love. I'm gonna support her,
Absolutely.
but I'm just like the guy who told me, "I know how you feel."
Mm,
Remember
right.
that?
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
know
yeah.
what you're going through. I know how you feel. Have you ever lost a son? No. Well, you don't know how I feel.
Right.
I can't
Exactly.
tell her. I know how she feels.
The only thing that I have to say, and I just feel compelled to say this, is please make sure she knows that it's not her fault.
Oh yeah.
Please make sure she knows that she has nothing to be ashamed of.
Yes.
Please make sure she knows that she is a worthy, valuable human, even with self medicating,
Yeah.
but she's worthy of so much more.
Yeah.
And please don't tell her that she's being bad or wrong or any of those types of terms. She just needs to feel that you're on her side 1,000%.
Yeah. I call her every day,
Good.
and I call her every day just to tell her I love her.
Good.
That's all I do.
That means a lot.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say her name, but I
No.
say, hey, I just want you to know I love you.
Mm.
And that's all I do. Listen, I'm going to be inviting you back. I'm going to be giving you a call here a little bit
Perfect.
later this afternoon. I hope you have a little
Okay.
time because it's already December the 28th. And next
Yes.
week we kick in the new year. And when the new year kicks in, you're going to be a part of our broadcast family. And, of course, we're going to share this particular conversation with as many people as we can. I think it's going to be so important for us to do that.
I do too.
And, of course, you know, we're not going to allow anyone to forget that you are one of our featured authors. And you will be for the entire year of 2022. That's just
Thank
my
you.
gift to you. And, of
Thank you.
course, we're going to set you up because this is not entertainment. This never gets old.
Oh.
And I want people to know that this is something that needs to be disseminated to as many people as possible, as often as possible. And we intend to help do that. In the meantime, we want to
Absolutely.
say peace. God bless you. Take care. Take it easy.
Thank
if it's
you.
if it's
Thank
good
you
to you,
so
take it
much.
twice. And
Yes.
we shall be inviting you back soon. We thank you so much for being here. Until then,
My
you
pleasure.
have a fantabulous rest of your day. We
Thank
love
you.
you. And we
Love you
shall
too.
see you soon. Okay?
Yes, you will.
God bless you, and we'll talk
God
to you
bless
later.
everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.